Today we're going to make a twist on a classic, the Cuban Old Fashioned. For this drink, you're going to need a rocks glass, a measuring cup, a measuring spoon, a bar spoon, a hawthorn strainer, a fine mesh strainer, a mixing glass, optionally a dasher bottle, and a microplane grater, or a vegetable peeler, cutting board, and small knife. This drink uses rum, or your spirit of choice, simple syrup, Curaçao, aromatic bitters, orange bitters, lime zest, and 2 mint leaves, one for mixing and one for garnish. First of all, this is not a Rum Old Fashioned. Although I'm using rum in this one, the Rum Old Fashioned's a little different. This may be a little confusing because the common myth is the Cuban Old Fashioned is simply an old fashioned made with rum. But what distinguishes a Cuban Old Fashioned from other old fashioned variations is a couple of essential characteristics: a touch of Curaçao, a lime zest, and a mint leaf. Technically, this drink is a Prohibition-Era Cuban-style old fashioned with rum, but that's quite a mouthful. I chose to use a Cuban-style rum in this one because it really works well. But a Cuban Old Fashioned can be made with rye, Brandy, Genever, Bourbon, Singani, Tequila, Scotch, Cachaca, pretty much anything you can think of. During Prohibition, a lot of expat American bartenders flocked to Cuba to be able to apply their trade legally. And of course, there were a good amount of U.S. tourists looking to wet their beaks. This created quite a bit of competition for Cuban Cantineros, the local Cuban bartenders. So to keep up with all the new competition from the Yankee bartenders, the Cantineros had to improve their game. In addition to learning English to better serve the Yankee tourists, they also learned to make drinks that were popular with the Yankees, but developed refinements and specialized techniques to take them to the next level. As Belgian cocktail historian Francois Monti put it, Cantineros were to their time what Japanese bartenders are to ours. Execution, aesthetics, and discipline elevated their drinks beyond craft and into the realm of artistry. One of their signature moves was adding lime zest to their shakers or mixing glasses. This gave the drink the essence of lime without the dilution or tartness of lime juice, which helped to adjust some familiar drinks to the climate of Cuba. It's a trick they would apply to an old-fashioned made with whiskey, as the Yankees typically want it. However, in a 1930 bar manual designed to teach Cubans how to compete with American expat bartenders, it allowed for old fashions to be made with your spirit of choice. That gives enough license to combine the two: the modern myth of the Cuban Old Fashioned with the reality of the classic Cuban Old Fashioned. It's hard to improve on perfection, but somehow the Prohibition-Era Cuban Cantineros were able to figure it out. They created a secret sauce to give their version of an old fashioned that perfect balance of tradition and Cuban flair. If you're using rum, I suggest a Cuban rum, or Cuban-style rum if you're living in a country where Cuban products are still subject to a Cold War era embargo. In the US, there are some good options out there like Flor de Caña, but Caña Brava is made by a master distiller who spent 35 years in the Cuban rum industry before relocating to Panama. He was semi-retired when the 86 company put him back to work. The result is an awesome Cuban-style rum that was specifically designed to make a killer daiquiri, but that also works wonders in this drink. Let's start by chilling our glass. Fill it with ice and water and set it aside. Next, we're going to measure 2 ounces of rum, or your spirit of choice. Add that to the mixing glass. Measure 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. Add that to the mixing glass. Give it 2 dashes of orange bitters and 2 dashes of aromatic bitters. Then give it a dash of Orange Curaçao. If you don't have a dasher bottle, just put your thumb over the throat of the bottle and slowly release pressure until a drop or 2 drips out. Next, we'll add the lime zest. If you're using a microplane grater, shave off a little pile of lime zest. Scoop up roughly a 1/4 teaspoon and dump that in your mixing glass. If you don't have a microplane grater or a zester, just use a vegetable peeler. I find with limes I can never get a good peel without getting some white pith. So to remove the pith, I use a knife to fillet the lime peel and slice off the excess pith. That way you get a good slice of lime peel with very little pith to use in your mixing glass. Then take a mint leaf, give it a good clap to release some oils, and drop it in the mixing glass. Add ice and stir it well to chill it down and give it some dilution. Dump the ice and water from your rocks glass. Drop in a hand-carved hunk of ice, then double strain the contents of your mixing glass over the ice in your chilled rocks glass. The fine mesh strainer will prevent any little bits of lime zest from getting in your drink. And optionally, grab a sprig of mint, give it a little clap to release some oils, and place it on your drink for garnish. And there you have it, the Cuban Old Fashioned. Salud, porque baeza sobra. Click here for more videos. Be sure to subscribe, and check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.